Hello everybody, welcome to South Wales. My name's Norris. I'm a retired engineer. I still do a lot of engineering. I make small steam engines which I run on compressed air. I work on air pistols and air rifles and anything else that takes my fancy. And as a lot of you know, if you try to buy stock from a company, quite often they say to you, what's your company name? And if you tell them I don't have a company name, they say, oh, we don't sell to individuals, sorry. So years ago, I invented a company name. I used to call myself Coal House Engineering because I used to work in the coal house. A few years ago, I had a change of location and I became front room engineering. I moved into the front room, brought all my kit and caboodle with me. I'm quite happy here. As you might guess, I now live on my own. There's a couple of my air pistols, a CP1 and CP2, a couple of future projects. There's my pride and joy, my Myford ML7. My wife Jenny helped me to pay for that, bless her. Unfortunately, I've sold it because although it's a good machine, it's very restrictive in the fact that the bore through the spindle is quite narrow. I do a lot of work on tubes of both 1 inch and 22mm diameter, which is a pain on a Myford. I have to use a fixed steady and all sorts of messing about. So I've upgraded to this, which has a spindle with a 26mm bore. It's sold by AMABL and badged as the AMABL 250FX 550, but basically I believe it's a Warco WM250 with different coloured paint on it. Not had it long. I've modified a quick change tool post to fit on it. I've fitted it with twin DROs. I got rid of the spindle guard and the associated bits and pieces inside the electronics box. I took the safety interlock off that cover so I can run it without the cover if I choose, and I got rid of the big emergency stop button so I could bolt my display in its place. But that's what the video's about, those two little buttons there. They're my forward and reverse non-latching jog buttons. I was chatting to my mate Nelly this morning, Neil. He's got a YouTube channel, Neil's Man Cave, or as I think of it, Nelly's Suburban Retreat. It's well worth a visit. He's a first-class engineer, a first-rate craftsman, and he thinks outside the box. He got some very interesting stuff on there. It's well worth a visit. But we were chatting this morning, and he said, why not make a video showing how you fitted the jog buttons? And I said, well, it's only a 30-second video. And he said, pad it out a bit, talk to people. So I've done that. I'll show you how to fit the two jog buttons now. There we are. That's the relevant covers removed. The two jog buttons, the two push buttons that I use, they're momentary contact push buttons, which I got from eBay. The only thing to be careful of is that when you fit them, you leave enough room at the top to clear the lip of the headstock when you put the cover back on. I fitted the buttons with the contacts at the top and bottom, or the terminals at top and bottom. The two top terminals are connected together and they're connected to a black wire, which on my system is the common rail. The other two wires, one to each button, are fed into that sheath, which I poked through the hole in, there we are. I poked through the hole in the back of the headstock casing into the electronics box, and then I just reached down with a push-bike spoke, hooked the wire up and pulled it out of the top. The three wires in my case are black, white and blue, and I wired the button in accordance with the handbook, and it turns out that the handbook's got them reversed. This is my main contactor switch, which gives me my forward and reverse. And if you look carefully at it, there are two wires at the back, which are not of importance to us at the moment, but there are three wires connected further up the switch. The black one, which is the common, the blue one, which is the reverse contact, and the brown one over here, which is the forward contact. And all that I did, I stripped the ends of my wires, put a little bit of solder on to make them stiffer, and then where these wires are screwed into place, I undid the screw, slid my wires in, and retightened the screw. And as I said earlier, the black one is common to both switches. That's the common rail. The other two, as I found out, are reversed according to the book. but they give you your forward on one button and reverse on the other. And that's it. If the WM250 has the same switch, that's how you wire it up. And it works straight away, and it's a very useful modification. If you want to give it a try and it doesn't work, get in touch with me and we'll see if we can sort out something between us. But that's how I did it, and it works perfectly for me.